Hey Joey.
Hey Luke, how's it going?
I'm very well, thank you very much. It's a very, very special little edition that we've put out on the internet today.
A little Easter egg.
A little Easter egg.
A little Christmas Easter egg.
Exactly. Because, well, we've only done this because we've ended up recording a bit too much and we thought it's all gold and we can't cut it. We ended up talking a little bit about what Steven Spielberg has in store for us in 2019. So this is a little recording of our conversation where we talk a little bit about our Christmas period, a bit of a rundown of top 10 of the year, some other films we watched over the Christmas period, and
ones we're looking forward to.
Absolutely. So just a little Christmas treat for you.
Enjoy! So, this is our first one back from Christmas, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We don't usually tell you what sort of time it is, because this is going to end up coming out around March, isn't it? But it was sort of our post-Christmas, post-New Year hiatus.
Exactly, yes.
How was the festive period for you?
It's
the non-dominational festive period for you?
It was very good. I've been very ill. This is sort of my...
You've been ill for weeks and weeks and weeks.
This is like the 5th or 6th week. You can maybe even hear it in my voice still.
It is a bit sexy.
But I actually feel a lot better. It's just that the sexy voice is sticking around.
Okay, because you look awful.
All year, yeah. It's not over the last 5 or 6 years, that's right. 5 or 6 years. It's not over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Actually, Joey was just showing me his Christmas present, which is a... Do you want to explain it? What it is?
Yes, my main Christmas present is called a SAD lamp, or an SAD lamp, and it's designed to sort of replicate daylight during the winter months.
For those who don't go outdoors.
Yes, and it's the ultimate cinema lover's gift. Because I just turned it on to show how bright it was. And it's like, my eyes!
It's pretty bad. But yeah, I guess if you're not going out at all, it gives you all the perks.
Exactly.
Of vitamin D, as opposed to friendship and social interaction.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know? Just watch Netflix, turn on the sad lamp. You've got a complete life there. How was your Christmas period?
Oh, it was very nice. Thank you very much. We was with both sets of families over Christmas, and it was really nice actually. It was lovely, exhausting, but very good. And I wasn't working much over Christmas. And it's the first Christmas where I've not either worked Christmas or New Year. I had both of them off.
That's really nice.
So, which was a real treat. So very good. I did over Christmas, however, because I had such a lot of time off, managed to catch up with a lot of films.
Cool.
And I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but I sort of did a countdown of the year's best films.
I did. Did
you see that?
Yes.
Shall I go through them?
Yes, go for it.
So we can do. I did it from 15 because I saw 15 films, but I thought I'd go down from 10 to 1, and I'll be interested to see actually, Joe, if you've seen any of these films and what you thought of them. So a few of these I've talked about on our podcast anyway, but at number 10 was Hereditary. The horror movie. I don't know if you saw that or caught up with
No,
it.
I never saw it, but I know of it.
Okay. 9 was First Reformed. Again, I think I've talked about that on this podcast before.
Yes, is that
the Paul Schrader film?
Yeah, Paul Schrader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Number 8 was Tully, the Charlize Theron film, where she plays a mum who organises a mum who's completely overworked and organises a night nanny to come in and relieve her of some of her stress.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite famous because Charlize Theron put on about stones and stones, about 25-30% of her body weight to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she really transformed herself.
That's cool.
Yeah. Number 7 was 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, see, that would be very high on mine. Mine would be above 7. 7 for me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I did really enjoy it. I spent so long going through these though. It was really stressful and they kept on moving about. Number 6 was Phantom Thread, which when I first saw it I didn't think would be in my top 10, but it's one of those ones that I kept on thinking about.
Yeah, definitely.
It really stayed with you. And we watched that in the cinema together, didn't we?
We did, with someone I was going out with at the time who, to this day, cannot even mention that film.
Broke up with you because of that film.
She hated it that much, and then eventually hated me.
Not as much as she hated the film. Number 5 was Avengers: Infinity War, just because it was great. And you've just got to get on board with these films at some point, Joey.
Yeah.
Number 4 was American Animals, again, which I talked about, that heist movie.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that one? Yeah. Number 3 was Coco, The Pixar movie that was released right at the beginning of the year.
We never saw that. I remember this was right around the time when we used to go to cinema with each other regularly.
Yeah.
And for some...
Before we did this podcast, essentially.
And there was a time where we were going to go and watch Coco, but
Yeah.
we ended up watching something else because it just didn't quite work out timing-wise. I mean, still never seen Coco.
It's amazing. It had me in tears. It's so good. Number 2, Shape of Water. Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Man, I've got a lot to do.
Yeah. Which I found really divided, because I've tried recommending this to some people, and some people love it, and some people are, the one where she has sex with a fish.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, yes, but it's not really the point of it. It's not one to watch with the family, certainly. But
yes. It's a little bit like, do you remember when I had to twist your arm to watch Harold and Maude?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I promise you this is one of the best films you'll see. And you're like, so it's about an old lady and a
septuagenarian and an 18-year-old.
And a very young man. It's like, yeah. Well, and they sort of get together. Well, yeah.
I do. It is a very good movie, actually. I'm glad you did that. And then number 1, I put Annihilation, the Netflix movie.
Oh, yes, Natalie Portman
one. Have you seen that one yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. That is on Netflix, and that's free, so watch that.
I've only seen one of your 10 films.
That's yeah, and we saw that one together.
As a cinema lover, I'm letting myself down.
But, because I've mentioned that, because over the Christmas period, I've watched now 3 films that would be tickling the top 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I've seen since I did the list. And they were Black Klansman, the Spike Lee film.
Yep.
Which is about a black cop who tries to infiltrate the KKK. First Man, the Damien Chazelle film where... With Ryan Gosling playing sort of a biopic of Neil Armstrong, which is really good. And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated Spider-Man movie that's out of the cinemas at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable.
Really?
So good.
Remarkable.
It will genuinely be high up, maybe even top 5.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's like watching a comic book on screen. The animation is like nothing I've seen before.
That's very cool.
Animated movies. It's brilliant.
All right, maybe I'll check that out.
Yeah, you should.
The thing about the First Man is it feels like... So it's about the actual moon landing, right?
Yeah, it is. It's the training process, but it's not just about that. It's sort of... Because Neil Armstrong apparently is famously quite closed off, doesn't give many interviews or so. It's sort of about his relationship with his wife as well, and what drives him to put his life at risk when the other Apollo missions are going south.
See, just even hearing this, it sort of makes me wonder how much tension you can generate from knowing the ending. Whereas, I think we have mentioned about this kind of thing before. Titanic absolutely takes advantage of the fact that we know it's a doomed love affair.
Yes, yeah.
And I just don't quite know if you can reach those heights with the moon landings.
The way they do it is they really because Russia did everything first. All the cosmonauts had got all the first. They've been the first in space, the first moonwalking, things like that. There's a pressure on them on the Americans to actually get to the moon before anyone else.
Yeah.
And there's so many processes that they haven't mastered yet that they need to do so in order for that to happen. When you see them do all their practice runs or the initial rocket launches, you see these astronauts in what is essentially a tin can, and you assume rockets are beautifully made science fiction, but they're just nuts and bolts of metal.
Yeah.
And the sounds that they have on the launches, the fear on the face, it does generate generate a lot of tension.
That's cool.
So the actual and just the sound effects of everything really make you feel like this is actually tense. So it does work.
Yeah.
Because I thought I'd had trouble with that as well, but it does it so well.
Yeah. So it can work.
It can work, despite knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to mention this film because it's not technically like the last one I saw.
Okay.
But it is one that you highly recommended.
Okay. You're going to hate it, aren't you?
Well, let me give you a little bit of context. So over the Christmas period, I was with my parents one evening.
Yeah.
And they said, right, should we maybe watch a film? I was like, well,
Shape of Water.
I've got no, in a way, it's worse than that. I was like, well, I've got a Netflix account, so we went through.
Yeah.
And because you had recommended it highly, and I'd never seen this filmmaker's first film.
Okay.
That filmmaker is Tom Ford.
Okay.
Who made A Single Man. And so I was like, all right, well, because you highly recommended Nocturnal Animals.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, let's take a risk. Let's play this.
You know, I recommended it without having seen it.
No.
I've not seen Nocturnal Animals, but I think I said I've heard it's quite good. It got nominated for a lot of Oscars when it came out, but I've never actually seen it.
Okay.
It's on my list of things to see, but I haven't got round to it.
Right. I wish I'd remembered that. Because when it starts, actually the rest of the movie is really not that bad.
Okay.
It's no worse than other movies. Like, I think I've watched Seven or something with my parents before and all of this stuff.
Okay.
You know, and there's a lot of violence, and the title sequence, I'm not going to give anything away beyond literally the credit sequence at the beginning, is an incredibly overweight naked woman.
Okay.
And we put this on, and my parents' faces were an absolute picture. Luke,
did you take a picture?
Luke recommended this, did he? Yeah, he said it was really good. Wow.
There's nothing...
It completely changed...
there is absolutely nothing wrong with being naked and overweight, Joey. You do you, if that's you.
All I'm saying is they're looking at you slightly differently from now on.
But so is it just... Okay, fair enough. Luke's got a type, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But there's nothing like gory that happens, is there, at the beginning? No. It's just
no.
An overt, this is what's, you know...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And what they're talking
It's
about...
just a bit in your face.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, but I'm definitely watching that when I get back. Before we started recording, I sent you a text yesterday and asked, and because it's the new year, I thought now might be a good time to explore or just go over a little bit about what Spielberg has got planned going up, because we haven't really talked about Spielberg going forward, because he's still making a lot of films.
Yep.
He's still got his fingers in a lot of pies.
Yep. He had his birthday recently.
It was his birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, December, wasn't it?
Yep. We tweeted happy birthday. You're welcome, Stephen.
Yep.
Didn't reply, did he?
He's busy. He's very busy.
Yeah, well, we're busy. Yeah. So what did you come up with? What was on Spielberg's plate?
Well, it seems like the main thing
Yeah.
is Indy 5.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shooting in April.
Yeah. Is that shooting in April?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Has it got a title yet?
No, they
Okay.
haven't released that.
Okay. Because they
But I understand why, because it could very easily give away what it is.
Or
Or it could be very ambiguous, like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. What the hell is a crystal skull?
Exactly. Yeah. I heard that. So the guy writing it is Jonathan Kasdan, who did Solo, which is the last one we
Lawrence
saw.
Kasdan's son, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I think George Lucas is nowhere near the writing room.
Yeah, so this would be the first release under the Disney banner, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Since Lucasfilm was bought by Disney.
Which, because I think the whole fact of the Crystal Skull being a MacGuffin in Indiana Jones 4 was very much George Lucas pushed. So I think that's probably a good thing. It'll be interesting to see what...
It'll be very interesting to see because, you know, we've talked before about Lucas being a digital guy and Spielberg being, for a long time, I think he's slowly changing his ways, but he's a celluloid enthusiast. And so it'd be interesting to see if we end up with a film in the same way that I really like the J.J. Abrams The Force Awakens revamp since being bought out by Disney. I know it basically is the same plot as A New Hope, but, you know, they shot it on film. They have actual rubber aliens and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. With the odd little tweak of CGI. Yeah. Not making the whole world CGI like Lucas. And, you know, I've mentioned before in other episodes that I thought Indy 4 was sort of like a George Lucas presents a Steven Spielberg film.
You'd have said that, yeah.
So I do feel like any good movie executive, Disney executive, should know that sort of Spielberg should know this world better than anyone. So hopefully you would hope they would sort of be a bit hands off. Yeah. I mean, I've got, I do have some opinions about it, but maybe we'll save it for our Crystal Skull episode. Yeah. And we can talk about Indy 5 more going forward. Yeah. But so you said that's filming in April. Yeah. But I think West Side Story is going to come out beforehand, isn't it? I think that's his next planned release. Oh, right, okay. West Side Story. But I thought it was shooting in the summer, so maybe because the post-production isn't going to take as long. But I think West Side Story is going to be his next movie. I see, that is his adaptation, not of the film, but of the stage play, with all the Stephen Sondheim songs. Yep.
And we've mentioned beforehand that they cast Ansel Elgort as the male lead.
Yep.
And I think they're still trying to find a Maria. And I saw something on the internet saying they'd had auditions in Puerto Rico for a Puerto Rican Maria.
I see.
So that's coming out, which will be exciting because Steven Spielberg has always threatened to make a musical, or a lot of his films we've talked about has had musical set pieces or been musically inclined.
Yes.
So for him to finally go all out and do one, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Maybe even an Oscar botherer, because the last West Side Story won like loads.
Yes.
Yeah, when it came out in the 60s.
Yeah. So obviously, as part of this, you also in the same message said this sort of like what films are we sort of looking forward to being released, not necessarily made by Steven Spielberg in 2019.
Yes.
I have to say, it is on the whole a sort of like blow to my cinematic heart. Most of it is remakes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Including Sonic the Hedgehog. Not that there's an original Sonic the Hedgehog, actually. I shouldn't really say that.
Detective Pikachu is an original story. Okay?
Yeah, but it's a lot of sequels, isn't it?
It's a lot of sequels, but when you look at when you look at those lists, the things that it's all like, oh, the 40 films you must see in 2019. They're all going to put the remakes or the franchise films on there. They're not going to put the originals. Have you got like a sequel that you're looking forward to on there then, or
obviously Star Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars Episode 9 comes out at Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah, Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Toy Story 4. Of course, I want to see that.
I'm really worried about Toy Story 4. Like, Tom Hanks has said some things which are very reassuring about it.
Yep.
But Toy Story is almost the perfect trilogy, isn't it?
It is.
I don't want it to be Toy Story in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my worry.
Okay.
But if Tom Hanks says it will all be alright, I think hopefully it will all be alright.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to say the Marvel output next year, Avengers Endgame, is going to be amazing.
Well, let's
Captain Marvel as well.
Let's hope the good guys win,
Yeah. It's a bit of tension.
Yeah.
But I have chosen two original ones that are not sequels or remakes that look very good.
Yeah.
So, Us, a horror movie from Jordan Peele. Did you see the trailer which came out a few weeks ago?
No, I saw the poster.
Trailer looks absolutely terrifying. So it's got Lupita Nyong'o in it. And it looks very, very good.
Cool.
And the other one was Quentin Tarantino's new film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's on my little list here. Yeah.
Which I'm quite looking forward to seeing. Which I think is set in 1960s Hollywood or so.
Yeah, 1969. Yeah. Because it's the Summer of Love, isn't it?
Summer of Love,
which is when the Manson
family,
Charles Manson's family, were murdering people.
So I don't know what it's going to be exploring, but the cast looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what
love him or hate him, he's always interesting.
He is interesting. Yeah.
I always look forward to him.
Yeah. Anything else that you got on your list?
I have to admit, I will end up probably going to watch the Downton Abbey movie, and then
why?
Because I followed the series,
all of it,
and I've shot a wedding at where Downton Abbey is filmed as well.
Highclere Castle.
So I feel a slight connection to the place.
As soon as Matthew died, spoilers, I was like, no, I'm out.
Oh really?
No. Yeah. Not interested anymore. I'm out.
That's a shame. And then, as part of this sort of disappointment with whole sort of like remakes and that sort of thing, so Dumbo is coming out, isn't it? Directed by Tim Burton.
I mean, that could be weird, couldn't it? Is Johnny Depp in it?
Probably.
He's just right here.
Yeah. Now it's got Colin Farrell in it.
Colin Farrell, okay.
Yeah. Because there's a poster at the moment, is a picture of Colin Farrell, and it says Disney's Dumbo at the bottom. I don't know if they sort of like...
Farrell, I put that on my wall, that's great. That's brilliant.
It's a picture of him sort of like looking up, sort of like wanting words of wisdom or something, and then it just says below, Disney's Dumbo.
Excellent.
Oh well, whatever works.
I mean, they should have cast Adam Sandler in the role then, shouldn't they? Or something like that.
Yeah, John C. Reilly.
A couple of other things that are coming out, Spielberg produced from Amblin TV. So Amblin are doing a mini-series of Rashomon, Akira Kurosawa's film. Yeah. So that's going to be a 10-part mini-series that's going to be Spielberg produced. And I think that's going to come out late this year or early next year.
That's cool.
Which would be good, actually. So that's a story. It's sort of like a story of a murder told from four or five different perspectives, isn't it? Yeah. They're also rebooting for Apple TV Amazing Stories, which was Spielberg's 1985 to 1987 sort of Twilight Zone anthology series,
right?
Where they
never seen any.
I never seen them either, but apparently they've got a bit of a cult following. They didn't do huge business at all when they came out.
But I suppose they can sort of like take advantage of this whole Black Mirror phenomenon,
because we know Spielberg was a big fan of the Twilight Zone, having directed part of the Twilight Zone movie.
Yeah.
And he put that out after the Twilight Zone movie.
Yeah. I feel like Black Mirror is very much our Twilight Zone, Tales of the Unexpected.
Yeah, exactly.
Update. So.
Exactly. So this is going to be Apple's version of that. So yeah, that's all I could really find out.
Thank you for joining us for this little look at what's to come in 2019. Next week we'll be back with our usual format. The film will be Schindler's List. So we look forward to seeing you then. Bye.
Bye.